Letting the property is self-explanatory, so I don't want to say a lot about that. Obviously, you want to get the best possible rent, and depending upon your strategy, you'll either be letting and managing the property yourself, or you'll be using an agent to let it, and then you can manage it yourself, or you'll use a letting agent who will then manage it for you. So there's a number of different things you can do. Now, I didn't say anything about financing the property back at step 4 when we were talking about negotiating and purchasing, because I thought I'd keep it simple and pull it all together under this step where we talk about refinancing. At the moment, we're seeing mortgage conditions easing and new lenders coming into the market, and new products are being launched all the time. The lending criteria of all lenders are changing all the time, and new buy-to-let products are being offered all the time. So I'm sure you'll be able to find what you're looking for, especially if you get advice from a good broker. When I'm doing a renovation project, there are two ways that I'll consider financing it. The first way is to buy it for cash initially, do the works, and then refinance onto a buy-to-let mortgage after 6 months. If I didn't personally have the cash to buy outright, I'd consider borrowing it or buying it as a JV. In other words, taking on a joint venture partner, someone like a friend or relative who could fund the deal in return perhaps for a split of the profit. You could then pay back the loan or the JV partner when you refinance. The advantage of this is that there are buy-to-let products reappearing which have 80% LTVs, sometimes even 85% LTVs, and you can finance after 6 months using one of these products. The second way I'd look at financing it is to start with a light refurbishment loan. They all but disappeared during the credit crunch, but several lenders now offer them. Typically, they allow you to refinance to 70% or 75% of the increased value when the works are finished, although some lenders offer an 80% LTV. When we're looking for our property, when we're in the estate agents looking for something which we can buy cheap and which needs refurbishment, we need to remember that the formula is 70 to 75%, or perhaps even 80%, depending upon how and when you finance, but 70 to 75% of the end value must exceed the total amount of the purchase price, the costs of purchase, and the costs of the renovation. And then, with a 70% or a 75% LTV mortgage, we can borrow all of our money back out. So before you buy, you need to be sure of your figures and get accurate quotes for the refurb works as far as you can. You'll also need an accurate assessment of the before and after value of the property. If you apply for a light refurbishment loan, the bank's valuer will provide the before and after valuations. If you buy for cash first and then refinance, you'll either need to appoint your own valuer to do a before and after valuation before you buy, or come to your own conclusion on value based on your own due diligence. And of course, you need to make sure that the rent will provide the right cover required by the lender, which is usually that the rent must equal or exceed 125% of the mortgage payments calculated on an interest-only basis. So when we've renovated the property and have let it, we either finance it if we bought it for cash, or we draw down the extra equity using our light refurbishment loan. And if we've got our sums right, we should be able to pull out most or even all of the money that we put into the deal. Then we can go to step 7 of the system, which is go again and repeat the process. We can use this system to buy as many properties as we want, assuming that we buy the right properties where the figures work. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short video series.